Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Youthman. In this video, we'll be looking at the brand new Emotiva RMC-1 Preamp processor. Now before we get into the video, if you're into home theater, audio and video, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified when the next video drops. All right guys, well I have been out of town for the past couple of days on business. And while I was out of town, I got a notification that the RMC-1 had arrived. And so I was anxious to get home to be able to get this unboxed and check this out for you guys. It's in for review, so a big thanks to Emotiva for sending out the unit. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with separates, separates is the process of taking two separate components. You need a preamp processor, which is the RMC-1, and you need a separate amplifier. Now, most guys run an AVR, which is an audio video receiver, which has a preamp processor as well as the amplifier in one chassis. And by separating the processing from the amplification, number one, you get a lot of flexibility. You can pair it however you want, even different brands. Sometimes guys will mix and match one brand with another. But it also just gives you what I've been finding, great separation in the individual channels. That was the biggest thing that I noticed when I switched from the Marantz SR8012 receiver to the Marantz AV7705 preamp processor. And so over the past month, I've been really impressed with the performance of the AV7705. And so I'm really excited to see how the Emotiva RMC-1 compares to it. So enough talking, let's get to unboxing. So it's been a long time since I've had experience with an Emotiva processor. Way back when I first started my home theater, the first processor I ever owned was an Emotiva, what was it, the XMC-1. And so that was kind of like one of their first generation, I think it was their second generation processor. And so we've got a double box here. So let's go ahead and slide this on the ground. And now let's open up the second box here. So this is the internal box. All right, let's see what we got in the box here. It's right on the top. Got a big thick manual, so that'll come in handy. In the middle, we've got our remote control. Man, that's got a nice heavy feel to it, which I like that. Now my UMC-1 was a metal remote, so let's see what this one looks like. Oh yeah, man, I like that. That has a really cool look to it. Real nice feel in the hand. Now, one thing I'm curious about is my original UMC-1 had the buttons and they made this clicking sound. I'm curious to see if these do it as well. Yep, same exact clicking. Not real sure why they still have the clicking. I'd rather not hear that, but that's okay. Still a great looking remote. Really nice feel in the hand. Kind of big, but definitely pretty cool. Definitely very durable. It's got that nice kind of brushed aluminum look to it. So we'll lay that off to the side. Here we have our microphone cable. So the unit does not come with die rack. That's something that will be added in the near future, hopefully. And so this will be used for that later on. And then right over here we have the microphone itself. So you can see that'll plug right in there like that. There we go. And that'll plug into the unit. And then we've got a microphone stand inside. Okay, let's go ahead and remove this top foam piece right here. This is just a nice thick foam, which is cool. That'll protect the unit. I like this. That looks really sharp. So over here we got accessory box 1 and accessory box 2. Inside this, we've got our microphone stand. So again, we don't really use this right now. So we're gonna put that back inside the box. So inside here, AM/FM antenna, which I never use. Lay that off to the side. Power cable and batteries for the remote. Looks like we have an extra fuse in there. I always like it when companies provide a nice thick, kind of heavy gauge power cable. IEC 3-pronged. Also got a trigger cable in here. So this is what you'll use when you connect to an amplifier like the XPA11. So that will tell the XPA11 when this unit turns on to turn on the amplifier as well. So lay that off to the side. And now for the processor. Let's go ahead and get this out. So below here you can see got another antenna. I'm just going to leave that in there again. I have no need for that or no use for it. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look and see what's underneath. Oh yeah, the Emotiva RMC-1 Pre-Pro. Let's go ahead and remove this little film right here. Okay, so down here at the bottom left, we have our headphone output, a USB input, as well as a 3.5mm line level input. Down at the bottom middle, we've got our standby and our power on button. So if we press and hold for a second, it powers up the RMC-1. And this is gonna take about 1 minute for it to power up and kind of boot up just like a computer. So we're gonna go ahead and fast forward this a little bit and speed up the process. And now the unit is ready to go. Right in the middle, we have our standard volume knob, but the volume knob also serves as a multi-axis encoder, and it has a 4-quadrant joystick built into it. So you can see right here, we've got a down arrow, a right, a left, and an up arrow. And the reason for that is this actually acts as a joystick. And so it allows you to navigate through things such as the menu structure, as well as your sources and your different inputs. And so if I push this to the left, you'll see that we're changing the sound formats. And so that said surround. Now, of course, we got to wait a second. There we have direct. All stereo. DTSX. Dolby surround. Direct. And we're back to stereo. Then if we push up, we'll start changing our inputs. HDMI 1 and 2. Oh, I guess I have to please wait. All right, so currently I do not have any HDMI inputs connected to the unit, so I'm hoping that that'll speed up once the HDMI are connected. So to get into the setup menu using the front knob, we press and hold the button for about 2 seconds, and you'll see over here, now we're in our main menu structure. And so you can use this joystick to navigate through this. So here we see setup, we got speakers, so we can hit over to the right, we can go up and down. Now most of us probably are not going to be using this, but I think that's a really nice feature because it cleans up this front panel so that you don't have all of your buttons on the front. Some receivers and some pre-pros have an access panel that hides all of this. Emotiva has chosen to clean it up by using this multi-axis encoder. So that's pretty slick. To exit the menu, we just press and hold the button for about 2 seconds, and we're back to the main display. And to power the unit off, we just press the standby button at the bottom. All right, let's go ahead and turn the unit around and take a look at the back side. So up at the top left, we have our AM and FM, 8 HDMI inputs, as well as 2 HDMI outputs. Right below that, we see 3 areas that say reserved for expansion module. The RMC-1 comes standard with 16 channels of output. But what this allows you to do is you can buy modules that actually will install here in sets of 4. So you can add 4 here, as well as 4 here, for a total of 28 output channels. Over here we have 3 unbalanced analog inputs, 2 balanced analog inputs, 2 digital outputs, 4 digital inputs, which consist of either coax, digital coax, or fiber optic, which is called Toslink, an AES EBU input, USB stream input, Ethernet as well as USB for updating the firmware, IR in and out, as well as 4 12-volt trigger outputs. Now this is a great feature when you're connecting external amplifiers, because this unit, when connected with the trigger out, will turn on and off those amplifiers when the RMC-1 is turned on and off. In the middle we have a Zone 2 unbalanced audio output, and then down at the bottom we have our 16 channels of balanced output. And on the far right we have our master power switch, and below that is our 3-prong IEC input. The RMC-1 features Dolby Atmos and DTSX processing and includes 16 channels for a 9.1.6 Dolby Atmos or a 7.1.4 DTSX setup, but it can also be expanded up to 28 channels. The RMC-1 has support for HDR and Dolby Vision, as well as HDMI 2.0B and HDCP 2.2. The unit can support up to 3 subwoofers and allows you to set independent crossovers for each set of speakers. With 2 entirely separate sets of manual parametric equalizers, you can create custom response curves and import settings directly from Room EQ Wizard. Now the RMC-1 is expected to add Dirac Live automated room correction software, but at the time of this video, the unit I received for review is not equipped with it. The RMC-1 is assembled in the USA, comes with a 30-day risk-free trial, and retails for $49.99. Now I'm really excited to get the Emotiva RMC-1 set up in my home theater to hear how it sounds, because really ultimately that's what it's all about. Of course we want to see that it's got a good user interface. Emotiva has its own kind of proprietary operating system, so I haven't used that in a long time. Like I said at the beginning of the video, it's been many years since I've used an Emotiva preamp processor, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing how much has changed, and hopefully Emotiva has a lot of improvements in the RMC-1, which I would expect. Now if you're interested in checking out the review I did on the Emotiva XPA11, you can check that video out right here. And as always, you guys be blessed, and we'll catch you in the next video.